Hi, it's Sarah from South Fayette Township Library, and this week I'd like to recommend The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. This book was a New York Times bestseller. It was voted Best Book of the Year in 2017 by NPR, and it was chosen for Reese Witherspoon's book club. The Alice Network is a work of historical fiction that's based on a real-life network of spies that operated in German-occupied France during World War I. This book alternates chapters between the story of two characters, Eve Gardner and Charlie St. Clair. Eve Gardner is just 22 years old in 1915 when she's recruited to be a spy in the Alice Network. She has a couple of things going for her. She's intelligent, and she's fluent in both French and in German. She also has a prominent stuttering problem, and that's believed to be an advantage because people wouldn't think that she's an intelligent person, and they wouldn't suspect her of being a spy. Eve is trained by a woman who's slightly older than her named Lily, and Eve admires Lily greatly. Eve interviews and gets a job in an exclusive French restaurant owned by a man named René Bordelon. René is described to Eve as a beast, and he definitely fits that description. He's a character that you're going to love to hate. He's a German collaborator. He's an opportunist. He's a perfectionist, and he's downright mean. And Eve has to work with him every day. I love the way Kate Quinn describes what it's like for Eve to work in that restaurant. You feel like you're right there. As she's catering to these German officers, they relax and they start speaking freely about wartime plans, and she's able to gather lots of information. But she also has to see these German officers waste a lot of great food. And René Bordelon forbids the staff to even eat those scraps. I think that Eve Gardner is a very well drawn out character. I love the fact that she's so brave at such a young age to become a spy. She's a phenomenal actress, and so much happens to her that she has to deal with. Her chapters alternate with those of Charlie St. Clair's, and Charlie is a young adult in 1947. She's searching for her missing cousin Rose. Rose went missing right after World War II, and 1947 is the last that they've heard of her. They have a document that was the latest piece of evidence linked to Rose, and it's signed by Eve Gardner. Eve works for a bureau that helps to locate refugees from World War II. So Charlie St. Clair approaches Eve Gardner and has to persuade her to help find her cousin Rose. Eve has no interest in this at all. Her character has changed so much. She's been traumatized by war. Physically, she's in bad shape. She's an alcoholic, and she's plagued by terrible things that happened during World War I. So Charlie St. Clair has to be very convincing to bring Eve on board with finding Rose. This part of the story takes a lot of twists and turns and is very interesting. I really like learning about World War I. A lot of the books that I've read have been set in World War II, but hardly ever were set in World War I, and I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed learning about being a spy, particularly being a female spy. It's not as glamorous as Hollywood makes it seem. There's a lot of mundane things to do, and lots of danger as well. I hope you will check out the Alice Network. Have a great week and stay well.